Beterbiev surprised me with how technically good he was as well.
But the surprising thing is, I think Beterbiev's the second best boxer in that division, and Bivol is the second best fighter.
The last two rounds, I think Beterbiev was on top.
When watching it, I had Bivol ahead by a round.
Some of the rounds were so difficult to score.
Canelo puts everything into one punch. Beterbiev doesn't load up. He goes, it's just that all his punches are heavy. It doesn't matter what it is.
I think it's the biggest fight in boxing.
Welcome back to Boxcast. In this episode, we're going to look at the aftermath of the Riyadh season, Beterbiev versus Bivol, and some of the undercard fights. So, Simon, it lived up to the...
Oh, yeah, the whole event. The absolute whole event. Really enjoyed it.
I think, of all the fights we've done where we said it's 50-50, that one was actually 50-50, I think. Because most of the others where we've said it, I think, have gone one-sided because there's been an epic performance from one side. I think in this, it truly was 50-50. I still think it is 50-50.
Yeah, I mean, I was still thinking the podcast I chose Bivol, but I was still swapping and changing.
I think everybody was. You could see it, and everybody was like, when they'd see like Beterbiev's knocked down.
You couldn't pick a winner, could you?
No.
And what a fight. Two fantastic. I tell you, Beterbiev surprised me with how technically good he was as well.
Well, we did say in some of ours, I think don't underestimate his boxing and don't also underestimate Bivol's power in this fight.
I know there wasn't a lot of talking between the two of them, but in the ring you could tell they respected each other. Mm-hmm. I think they were both setting traps for each other and they weren't coming off. So it was just a master class of boxing from both of them.
Yeah, I think that's truly the two best in that division by like a mile, and then there's everybody else.
Yeah, there's such a gulfing class from them top two to the rest of the top 10.
I think they beat everybody else in that division.
Quite handily as well, I think.
Yeah. I think that's the most
I think,
matchup.
A lot of people say, don't discount David Benavidez and things like that.
Well, he's only just started in the division, isn't he? So he's only had one fight in it. And
for me, them two are just...
Yeah. I was looking at the list, isn't it? And you just... Let me bring it up. But like the other people in the division...
I mean, we've been through that list and no one comes close.
Yeah. I mean, there's really good fighters. It's just that I don't think it's not disrespectful to the other fighters. I think it's just the fact that these two are that good.
Yeah.
They're
and
both
you know what? I think
they deserve to be there.
These two could fight 10 times and I reckon every result would be different.
Yeah. I think it's as we said. If Bivol doesn't get caught... my thinking of it is after the fight, and it was the same as before. Bivol's the best boxer in that division, and probably one of the best boxers. Full stop. Beterbiev's the best fighter, but the surprising thing is, I think Beterbiev's the second best boxer in that division, and Bivol is the second best fighter.
Well, no, I think Eddie Hearn had it right. Eddie Hearn said the only man that can beat Bivol is Beterbiev, and the only man that can beat Beterbiev is Bivol, and I totally agree with that. I mean, I had Bivol. I think I predicted a Bivol round 7 KO.
You weren't that far though, because he had him on the back foot there. I think he got a bit too greedy, and then he got caught, and that's when the fight changed. But about 2.5 minutes of that round, I think Bivol was on top. I think he was winning up to that point.
I mean,
well, there's some on somebody's scorecard not, but most people's scorecard he was winning at 7 rounds.
A lot of people have spoke to. I'll be dead honest.
Well, should we do our results and then we can discuss it? When watching it, I had Bivol ahead by a round, so I had it 7-5 or 2 rounds or whatever it is. So that was mine on there. When I've looked at it, going back and then scored it like properly because I was trying to remember what on the day. I added 6-6. So I actually agree with the first judge's scorecard, 114.
I had a draw.
Yeah. That's what I think if you look like when you're not in the moment and you look back, and then I've analysed it on the Sunday,
I had a draw.
114. I think that a draw is a fair result.
Some of the rounds were so difficult to score. But, and Spencer Oliver mentioned this on the Simon Jordan podcast, which I mentioned to you straight away after the fight. What Beterbiev was great at was that last 30 seconds. He was throwing a flurry of punches. So if the rounds were tight, that last 30 seconds, he was nicking, I think, a lot of rounds.
I think he's influenced the scoring of
because I think then you were forgetting the work that Bivol you were.
But Bivol kept starting quite strong in each round.
Yeah.
But I think he got hit up to the 7th. I think he was ahead, like 6 up to 6. I
give Bivol the first 4 rounds, to be fair. And I was like,
well, I think I gave the 3rd to Beterbiev, but I gave him the others. But on 6, I think he was like 4-1 for me because 1 was like nearly a draw.
But I thought after the 5th round, I thought Bivol, I don't think can keep this pace up.
Yeah, I think the pace was.
I think because Beterbiev is there.
Do you know what the surprising thing was though? That Beterbiev could. He kept the pace all the way to the end.
No, I think the difference is though is when you're
applying the pressure.
Yeah, it's different.
It's easier to do than when you're absorbing
Bivol was
pressure.
constantly. No, he wasn't constantly on the back foot because he stood his ground as well, which was surprised
I've read
by.
some of the things we're going, he was running away or he's dancing. He wasn't, because I was surprised that he stood at like the 7th round. He stood and traded. And the thing is, it wasn't actually that much of a trade because it was him giving and Beterbiev going backwards. Like we very rarely see Beterbiev go back. He had him on the ropes and then he got caught by one like innocuous punch. But as he said afterwards, I don't know if you've seen an interview, he's basically like, he's comparing Canelo and Beterbiev and he goes, yeah, Canelo, but Canelo puts everything into one punch. And he goes, but it's one punch. He goes, Beterbiev doesn't load up. He goes, it's just that all his punches are heavy. It doesn't matter what it is. He goes, he's only from there. Boom, boom, boom. But he goes, everything is heavy. That's the difference. And he goes, I don't think he actually loads up. Yeah, he goes, if he loaded up, he probably hits harder than anybody. He goes, but Canelo in one punch is harder. But he goes, everything that Beterbiev does is hard. And he got caught in one. And I think that's when Beterbiev started and I think his corner were geeing him to get back on top. But my personal opinion is a draw is a fair result. A draw with an immediate rematch. A rematch made because...
Do you know, it was one of them fights where there shouldn't have been a loser.
Yeah, I don't think either of them deserve to lose. And I think that's why a draw is a fair result. And then I'd have been glad to be wrong. But I think if you're actually scoring on points and if you're going to give it one way, on points it should have been Bivol, really. But I think as a fair result, it's a draw. For both, because neither of them deserve to lose. And I think
I think a rematch must happen because where does Beterbiev go?
There's nobody bigger fight than him.
People are just going to scream out for a rematch. Where does Bivol go?
Well, Bivol's already said.
Rematch.
His Excellency's already said they're all trying. Obviously, Eddie Hearn's going to be trying. And Beterbiev's going. But the thing is this, and the interesting thing, and they might change the tone now, but when they interviewed Beterbiev straight after, he basically said Bivol is a better boxer.
Yeah,
I think he is.
Bivol is a better boxer.
But like, not by loads, by a little bit. But I think he's a better boxer and Beterbiev is the better fighter. But the sum of Bivol's work was just like... Wow.
It's just... But
his hand speed, his footwork.
hand speed and footwork. But then I was like amazed at how good Beterbiev was technically his as well. Was just...
I know he's got a good engine.
Footwork as well was really good. The way he cut the ring off at times, it was just like, geez,
his robustness, his generalmanship, well, his IQ and generalmanship in there, in cutting the ring off, is his footwork as well, because he never stopped moving either.
No,
Bivol never stopped moving, and I think Bivol slightly got tired.
The last two rounds, I think Beterbiev was on top.
Yeah. Well, I think if it goes longer, he's knocking him out.
Yeah, but I think Bivol, if there is a rematch, I think Bivol will change his game plan. I don't think he'll be on the back foot as much, but I don't know.
I've got some stats, isn't it?
I couldn't even pick a winner in the rematch.
CompuBox is interesting, but the thing is, because he's thrown more punches, isn't he? Like, they've got 682 punches for Beterbiev thrown and 137 landed. And 423 punches thrown by Bivol and 142 landed.
I mean, you can't even say what's that, five punches separating them.
And
They can't be separated.
On their rounds. But if you actually do it on... Look, I got some AI stats. So this is... which are quite interesting. So their version is... They had landed punches, 233 from Beterbiev to 219 from Bivol, which is basically the same. But the high impact punches, 23 for Beterbiev and 50 for Bivol. Like high impact being cleaner, better shots. And then in thrown punches, they got 1,023 for Beterbiev and 583 for Bivol. And even the pressure, which you would have thought was huge on Beterbiev's side, they got 45% for Beterbiev, 39% for Bivol. Because there was bits where Bivol was at the beginning on the front foot. And even in aggression, which I would have thought was higher, aggression being like where you're being aggressive to the opponent, 35% to Beterbiev and 24%. Now, obviously, it's AI, it's still thingy. But the interesting one is in high impact punches rounds, the first round is Bivol, second one is Bivol. All the, like where Bivol's in the rounds he's clearly ahead. Whereas I think in Beterbiev's ones are all the ones where they're closer. And even in like pressure, they're actually not that far apart. They're actually really close in
I just couldn't split him. I really couldn't split him, and I don't think I could split him in the rematch.
I don't think either of them deserve to lose. So I don't think there was a clear winner, but I don't think either of them deserved to lose. It should have been a draw and a rematch.
Both of them should be... The performance that both put on was absolute superb.
Yeah, it's a masterclass. That is top level.
For a boxing purist...
It's top level boxing.
You couldn't beat that fight, could you? I can't remember such a boxing purist fight.
With both fighters in it. You can get one-sided where they're like, they destroy it, but I don't think it's an actual... contest where both of them are
just
equal.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So I think... So result, you think is... It's not a robbery. Although that one scorecard is a bit of a joke.
No, well... What you've got to look at is, like I say, I think the last 30 seconds of some of the rounds, Beterbiev is... doing the work, so
he's stealing them.
Stealing.
But if you look at his scorecard, actually, I haven't downloaded the scorecard, and I downloaded the scorecard picture as well, isn't it? Like the 114-14, you can see that's what we're saying. Basically, that's fine. Even the 115-13, because the two rounds,
I can deal with that.
Depending on what you like, you can say and you could have easily done that, switched it the other way, and given it to Bivol. But 4 rounds. There's never 4 rounds to Beterbiev. I don't care whatever rules you're using, unless your mind is no.
Well, I give Bivol the first 4 rounds. So you're saying between 5 and 12, Bivol didn't win 1 round.
Yeah. And the 7th was his. Whatever. All right. The ending maybe, but 2 and a bit minutes of was a Bivol. There's the 9th or the 10th or whatever.
It would be interesting to see how we scored that round by round.
Yeah, I had the picture. I haven't loaded it. I've got it on the thing. We'll put it in, isn't it?
Yeah.
The scorecard.
It would be interesting to see how we scored it. I mean, I know Eddie Hearn was... But what we'll say is, Bivol after the fight and all the interviews I've seen, what a gentleman as well. No moaning, no whinging.
No excuses.
Just, I wanted to do better, I will do better next time. Just... What a man.
Let me see if I can find this.
I know Eddie Hearn was screaming.
I'll get it. Give me 1 sec.
That the guy should never judge again.
Obviously, he's a promoter.
I get that. He's a promoter.
But we know what Eddie does, isn't it?
I do think it is a bit wide.
Give you. Right. The first one, judge, which was the score we had, 114, he basically gave... First 2 rounds to Bivol, 3rd round to Beterbiev, 4th round to Bivol, 5th and 6th to Beterbiev, 7, 8, 9 all to Bivol, and then 10 to 12 all to Beterbiev, which, I think a couple of those are draws, and then you get him. But basically I can agree with that scorecard. The 115 and 113, he's basically swapped the 7th round he's given to Beterbiev. So basically that's it. I think that's the only difference.
Right.
Which again, I wouldn't. That's not the round I would give to him. But like, yeah, okay, that's fine. I can see it depending on, like you said, because in the last 30 seconds, Beterbiev was on top. Now the Polish judge, okay,
give it to me.
Yeah, first 2 rounds to Bivol, and then basically round 3 to round 7 to Beterbiev, 8 and 9 to Bivol, and then 10 to 12 all the way over. Like round 4 is hard to give that way. and 7 is quite hard to give that way as well, really. So I'm a bit like, yeah. There's 2 rounds there that are hard to do that way round. But yeah. I mean, it's not wildly out. It's like you said, it's what you like.
I think it's one of them is make the rematch happen, forget about this scorecards, and just enjoy what was a fantastic boxing spectacle from 2 elite
it'd have been great if it
fighters.
was 114, 114, 115, 113 one way, and 115, 113 the other way.
Yeah.
And draw. I think that's a fair result for both. I wouldn't no arguments with that. I think that's a little bit too wide because 4 rounds is not a fair. It doesn't matter how you score. It's not a fair reflection of the fight.
No.
So, yeah.
And what a fight it was.
Yeah.
Get the rematch on. I don't know whether it'll be for all
both
the belts.
as a fight and a boxing match.
Yeah.
Purist as a boxing match and a fight as in they did slug out a bit as well, which is...
I don't think... It might be... I don't know whether it will be for all the belts, to be honest. Might be.
I think it depends how long they take, isn't it? But it'll recover and do it. And if they get it in early next year-ish, then...
Just get that rematch ordered, get it done. There's nowhere else for either of them to go. And let's enjoy it again.
And then if Bivol wins, do you think then it goes to Trilogy?
Yeah.
I've watched that. Fantastic.
It's
it's
right.
worth it for history to have the freedom
Damn right,
fight.
it'll go for a Trilogy. Unless someone gets knocked out.
Well, no, if Beterbiev knocks Bivol out, then I think it's done.
But even if I think if Bivol knocks Beterbiev out...
No, I think it's still 1-1. You need to have the Trilogy. You think it's got to stop? Well, the only thing is, Beterbiev's going to be about 40 odd now. So it might get a bit like tricky.
I think...
Well, those birthdays are in August, July, somewhere like that.
I think both will retire after it.
Well, I think Beterbiev is basically, he's done. He's completed now, isn't it?
Yeah,
Apart
he could
the
retire
rematches,
tomorrow.
really.
But I don't think... But even Bivol, I think... No, neither of them have got anything to prove in that division.
Nothing in that division. They'd have to have a look at other... I mean, Benavides is the obvious fight, which we've said, isn't it?
No.
But, like, does it actually do them any...
No.
Oh, no, he's January. Yeah, he's going to be 40 when they fight next. So...
Same age as me. 40, not 50.
Please comment what age you think Simon looks.
Wow. No, I mean, like I said,
does he look older or younger than Beterbiev? Let's have that. Go on anyway. Carry on.
I can't believe the shape the pair of them are in as well.
It's ridiculous. The thing that really I thought Bivol being younger would have I thought his energy was going to get to the end. I think near the end he was a little bit getting done because the pressure. I'm not tired. I don't think he's gassing out, but he looked more ragged than Beterbiev. Just looked like he's getting stronger. A 39 years old in that shape after an injury coming back, he looked like, if this goes on another 3 rounds, he would have had him out of there. So yeah, a rematch I think has got to be
it's got
done.
To happen.
That's the only logical
match. Let's get it done and enjoy it again.
Yeah, I think it's epic, and I'm really intrigued to see what adjustments they both make because I can see them both making little bits. Bivol's already said, isn't it? I think Beterbiev's a bit quieter on it, but yeah, even he said that wasn't my best fight. So, but to be fair, even to their camp, they give a lot of respect to Bivol as well. At the end, I think he earned it.
I think, look, there was, like I say, there's not a lot of talking between the two of them, but you could say they didn't really sell the fight. And they didn't, there's not like it was David Hay,
All it
Tony
was
Bellew or someone,
it was like, we'll see.
But they didn't have
What do you think is going to happen? We'll see.
I think it'll be even bigger next time.
Yeah. I think it is, because now we know they're both even.
I think it's the biggest fight in boxing
Yeah.
still. The biggest fight in boxing.
Yeah. And that's why I think it would have been better as a draw, because that's what both of them deserve. Neither of them deserve to lose.
So,
but
we'll
anyway,
see.
it is what it is. But yeah, a rematch has to be done there, isn't it? And I think after rematch, do we think then Benavidez? Because there's been a bit of call of that.
No.
Boazzi,
No.
just it's walk off into the drop the mic and walk up. Well, depending on who wins, isn't it? Then it's just get ready for round 3, the trilogy completion.
Do you know what? I don't see where either of them go after they win.
I don't think either of them get any more kudos. The thing is, I think Bivol isn't big enough to go to cruiser, and the problem then, well, we're going to speak about
is.
Well, yeah, but you've got Jai Opetaia there, so that'd be a hell of a fight. But he's too big. Yeah,
too big.
That's my point at cruiser. I mean, I know Beterbiev's fought heavier, but I think the only reason they allowed him to fight heavier isn't because he was heavier; it's because he's so heavy-handed.
And look, the thing is,
but he's also like 40. He's going to be 40 years old by rematch.
They're not going to need money.
Yeah.
Right.
So what's the point?
Can you built yourself up to fight the best,
and they have these two are the best,
and now
fighting somebody less than the best.
Are they going to be up for that?
Yeah, where's the motivation? Because both of them seem to be motivated by the belts.
Are they going to be up for a Joshua Boazzi and Anthony Yard?
Yard, he's done, isn't he? So I think Boazzi's because he's unbeaten, and then Benavidez. They're the only two that make sense.
I don't think they'd be up for it, though.
But like, none of them have any belts, so it doesn't make sense.
No.
I mean, a big payday. Benavidez would probably be a big payday as well. But like you said, do they really need it? Is it motivating to do it?
I don't think it is.
Or Canelo versus Beterbiev?
Canelo, knock him out.
Yeah, you've said this before. I think there's a few people in the comments who disagree with you, politely disagree. Do you know what I think? I think Beterbiev's a better boxer than Canelo.
No, I don't think you can.
And he's more heavy-handed.
Look, we did a pound for pound top 10 a few weeks ago, and I think I had Canelo ahead of Bivol and Beterbiev. He's gone behind them two now.
Yeah.
Even though Bivol has lost, Canelo still goes behind them two.
I don't think the same way around. I still think Bivol number 4 and Beterbiev number 5, and then Canelo number 6.
Yeah,
but like 4 and 5 being basically like equal fourth. So I don't think they're the same for me.
Do you know?
I think
just quickly on Canelo, it's a big fight for Bivol and Beterbiev to fight Canelo. It is a big fight because of Canelo's name.
Yeah,
it's a huge fight, and I think against Beterbiev, it would be the only time Canelo would be going in as a proper underdog.
Well, the thing is this, I think, we're not hating on Canelo. We like Canelo as well. We're fans of Canelo. So before anybody gets... Well, you can jump up and down. I don't really, we like to hear your comments. But I think actually there's a reason for Canelo to do, because if you're really the greatest, that's the thing you're going for, you're going to be going into this fight as the underdog, which is the rare thing for Canelo to go into a fight. So I think him taking that or making that fight is a really big thing.
I just think Canelo's a bit too small for Beterbiev.
Yeah, well, I think they've shown it against Bivol, and I think Beterbiev. I think it's not just. I don't think it's just the power and the size. I think Beterbiev is a better boxer than Canelo, even at 40. Although it might be 41 by the time that comes around, then maybe.
I don't think it'll happen. But I think most.
Well, the thing I'd like to watch is these two get it on. Obviously, rematch. Benavidez, Canelo, and then have them, whoever.
No, I think once these two are done with it, I think they can both retire. I don't think they need a Benavidez or a Canelo.
I don't think they need it. I think it'll just be people will make the fight. Beterbiev probably doesn't need, but they both said they're going to do something. They need another challenge.
It's a bit like if Usyk beats Fury again.
Yeah,
does he need to fight anyone? No.
Is there any point in fighting anybody? No.
And I think it's the same with these two.
Yeah.
they don't need to fight anyone else. They've already proved they're best in their division.
By a mile. They're probably two of the best light heavyweights of all time. They're in that conversation.
Do they want to drop down to super? I don't think Beterbiev could drop down to
Beterbiev
super.
couldn't go down, I don't think.
And I don't think Bivol.
Doesn't make much sense. Well, it's the same fight. It's only Canelo.
No, I mean,
it's only Canelo.
I don't even know why we're talking about it because,
well, that's why I said the only one is the number 3 ranked and number 4 ranked are Benavidez and Boazzi. But Benavidez is the only one there with name enough because I think Benavidez is fighting Morel, isn't it? So unless he gets beat, and that might push Morel up.
No, I think, like I said last time, Boazzi Benavidez
is more sensible. Well, he's got Morel, who was one of the other contenders, and I think then there's Ramirez and Boazzi who are the unbeaten ones. Maybe make a fight, and then the winner fight each other. So if it's Benavidez, Boazzi, or whoever, then maybe by that time the rematch should be done and they can get together. But I think they need to get a bit busier as well. Those people have fights because they're all trying to get in that bit you need to do.
Especially if one of these belts becomes available, which could happen in the next couple of months.
Yeah.
So,
if they have because there's different mandatories in each, I think.
Yeah, so they need to get it sorted. But love the fight. Can't wait to see it again. And
it's fantastic.
Brilliant.
Yeah, that's what boxing should be. It's brilliant.
Brilliant.
Okay, and we mentioned him before, Mr. Opetaia. Performed as usual. What we expected, I think. We were not that far off his as well when it was a 6-round stoppage. What did I say? 7th round, and you were 4th. So we were.
Do you know what really?
We got one right.
Really impressed me with him. You know, against Bradis, he came out all guns blazing, didn't he? And I think he tired during the end. And I think against Massey, he realised he's a tough kid. But he just picked him apart. He didn't go out all guns blazing, picked him apart.
Yeah, you can see in Opetaia there's like improvement.
But you can also see in Opetaia he's a stone cold killer.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he is a stone cold killer.
I don't know if I've said this before. I've seen I think, did I say it to you? When they said they had a round table about the Bivol Beterbiev fight, and they spoke a bit about Opetaia, and then the presenter's like, he goes, is he always like that? He's like always like focused and on it. And Joseph Parker goes, he's so serious all the time. That's just the way he is. Yeah. He's always switched on. There's no off switch. You know? Yeah.
I'm surprised.
He's similar in size, if you a bit leaner, because obviously Usyk's weighed up as base Usyk, and he's about similar height.
I think Opetaia has to cut a lot of weight.
Maybe
to make Cruiser. I think he has to cut a lot of weight. There. And I think obviously BJS is fighting for the unified title next. The winner of that is fighting Opetaia. And then I think he moves up, and I think he's going. I think he's going to be a bit of a force at heavyweight.
CBS, did you say?
Yeah. Chris Billum-Smith. What did I say? JBS.
JBS. That's what I was trying to think. I went the BS. I was just thinking JBS. His name's not John. It's Chris, isn't it? He's going to put that
CBS, sorry.
There's Chris Billum-Smith and Zergo Ramirez, who's the main fight on the November Riyadh
fought
season.
As well. Great stoppage by Gallagher in the corner for Jack Massey. Really, really good stoppage, that. Seeing his fighter is...
And the fight is basically done. He's turning. I mean, there's a bit left in Massey, but there wasn't much point in going on.
And he was just going through the Opetaia.
Yeah, he was just turning the screws.
And now he needs these. Unfortunately, the only fights at cruiserweight are for the titles now for him.
Yeah. Hopefully these two, the unification will be done between Ramirez and Billum-Smith, and then he can fight the winner of them. I think he beats all of them.
I do.
And then there's Michalian, isn't it? Who's the other belt holder, I think, if I'm correct.
I think Chris Billum-Smith will win the unification fight.
Michalian. That'd be an interesting fight, I think, isn't it?
I think he wins that, and then it's Opetaia. And I think Chris Billum-Smith has caused a lot of surprises, but I don't think it's going to be a surprise.
I think Opetaia beats him, and as good as he is. I think he's got a good chance against Ramirez. That'll be an interesting fight because both of them only had one loss.
And I think once Opetaia unifies the division, I think he moves straight up to heavyweight.
Yeah.
And I think
the thing for him is just the same. The only thing stopping him at heavyweight is the same as what we said about Usyk. It's just because Usyk filled out quite well.
No, honestly,
he can.
Opetaia, I reckon he walks around 17, 18 stone. I think we'll find out, but I reckon he walks around about 17 stone.
I don't think he's going to have too much issue putting
and I tell you what,
you're against like the
I mean, there has been talk about bridgerweight, and I mean, we don't really know a lot about that. It's just a novelty weight, I think. I don't think it's going to last very long.
Well, hasn't the guy who was the champion,
Lawrence
Okoli, it's dropped back out or gone up again now to heavyweight or something, isn't it?
But I think
I've seen something on that.
I think if Opetaia gets all the belts, he moves up to heavyweight. And I think if you're a WBA and you move up a weight, you automatically get a title shot at the WBA
you're
holder,
the number
don't you?
one contender all day, don't it? Or you've got to fight against the number one contender.
Yeah. So watch this space, honestly.
A heavyweight, the number one contender for WBA is Manuel Charles. So, and then
just forget about Manuel Charles. He only has one fight every 15 years.
He's the number one. Actually, Manuel Charles, the WBA World Heavyweight Champion.
No, he's not. He's it's ridiculous. Like I said,
because obviously they have the Super World Champion.
I don't think he's had a fight in however many years. So forget about him. He's not even in the top 20 in the boxing rankings as far as I'm concerned. Forget about him. But yeah.
And if the IBF like him, then there's obviously that belt with Daniel Dubois. And there's vacancies in number one and number two position. So, yeah.
Well,
I think there's talk of that, isn't it? That he's heavyweight.
Watch out for him. I think next 12 months is going to be critical.
Well, the other thing I like about him is he stays busy.
Yeah.
You get a fight fairly. It's not like just rest. So there's people I've seen some criticism, like, who you're fighting. But the thing is, you can only fight what's put in front of you. And they're not actually bad fighters. And it's keeping him busy. And he seems to be getting better every fight.
The cruiserweight division isn't electric as it used to be. And he is.
Well, all of them have either moved on, retired, or whatever. There was a good stack.
No, and I don't think it's just that. I think he is.
But he's that much better again.
That much better.
He's like Bivol and Beterbiev in the light heavyweights. He's a level above, I think, everybody else.
So.
Yeah, because I can't see any names even lower down of people who look like.
Good luck to him. I like him. And I think he's going to go
we like him on these nights. He gets quite a lot of money. And you can see why. He's just, he's fantastic.
Good on him.
Next one was Wardley, Fabio Wardley and Frazer Clarke. This was a very long fight.
Don't think anyone expected this.
Yeah.
I think they might have expected a knockout, but not that quick.
Well, I think both of us had Wardley to win, isn't it? But like by points and something or other. What did we say? You had KO, I think, later on.
Yeah, round 8.
Yeah.
I mean, first off.
Well, if you watch the first fight, you wouldn't have said it like that. I mean, I've always thought Wardley is probably slightly better, is the better fighter, boxer. I think skill-wise and thingy, and I think Frazer Clarke did really well in the first. But yeah, that was some finish. The power of those finished shots was just like...
Yeah, like I say, first off, reading the report, Frazer Clarke's okay, he's had an operation. Apparently, Turki Al-Sheikh phoned up a surgeon to get out of bed, to get straight to the hospital. He had like the best medical care possible, so fantastic for that.
Well, they're saying he had a dent in the side of the head, isn't it? And
he looked like he'd had a stroke.
His jaw was...
He looked like he'd had a stroke.
But thankfully, I think they've read it, said, he's okay. He's had an operation. They've sorted it out.
So. I think apparently they've gone in through the jaw and pulled it back, so he hasn't had to have a plate. So yeah, he's okay. Scary knockout.
Yeah.
Listening to him, he basically just said like it felt like his head went bang.
Well, I think he said he had a brain bleed or something.
And he said when he pushed his hand over, he said I could feel the dent, and I don't think he'll ever fight again, Clarke.
Yeah, I was going to say I might not be wise to do that, innit? Because
listening to him and the reporter, apparently he was saying I was just thinking about my family and my kids, and I think something like that.
You're only going to do more damage, isn't it? Because you're going to fight.
I think what happens is you lose your edge.
Yeah. That's the thing. You're not going to be the same as whereas a Wardley will go the other way. But I mean, to be fair, Wardley was classy at the end as well.
Yeah, but on to Wardley. Does he throw him in the top 10?
Yeah, I think he's in the.
Who does he go and fight next?
But we normally do our list of all the. Oh, I've lost my fight. Give me 1 second.
Does he? There's good British fighters there, but maybe to step down.
I mean, I think he's got to go up, but we normally do this. There's a load of fighters, isn't it? There's, depending on how much you want to warm up, you've got your Hrgović's.
Hrgović would be a good fight for him, to be fair. That's a good fight.
I was going to say Bakole and Kabayel, but I think they might be 2 steps too far for now.
Well, no,
Zhang as well.
Kabayel and Bakole have been ordered to fight each other.
Yeah. And then Zhang is too much. Parker and Dubois is a bit too much, I think. So I think one of the or are we
Jagba,
Huni, Hrgović, that sort
I
of
think
person.
A good fight for him would be Hrgović, Anderson.
Yeah, Jared Anderson would be one on the list.
Baby Miller.
Yeah.
One of them three.
Some were saying Derek Chisora, isn't it? But I'm not sure
I
that's
wouldn't put him in with Chisora.
Yeah. I don't think that's a good fight.
You've got to take a step up. Is it too soon for him to step up? Who knows? But throw him in at the deep ends. Let's see how...
Well, I think you've got to go against some of these, get a bit of experience. Then you can do your Frank Sanchez's or, the ones that slightly step up above them.
I think Chisora... I love Derek Chisora, but if he beats Derek Chisora,
what does he get? Not really.
He's not getting
but he's got the chance of getting mauled or beaten, and it's not a very good start.
And if he gets destroyed, which is quite possible, because Derek Chisora is just one of them fighters that it's Derek Chisora, isn't it? Yeah. Nothing to surprise him. So no, I think, like I say, I think Hrgović is a great fight for him.
Yeah. I think it's the ones
that
at all of that level. I think there's quite a lot. I mean, that's a dangerous fight as well. But I think that's sort of level to say, well, actually, yeah, you are top 10 level, because Hrgović is number 8, isn't he?
Would you throw him in with someone like Joseph Parker?
Not in the first one. Second. I think Parker's on a roll and he's good. See, Parker and Dubois is the one that makes me think.
I'm a little bit worried about Joseph Parker. Just quickly going on to the heavyweights.
Why?
Because there's not really a fight out there for him, is there?
Dubois. But he's not going to get that because of
because I think AJ Dubois are going to happen. But I think Parker needs to stay busy. So who does he go and fight?
The problem is then you've got Kabayel and Bakole, who the next Bakole.
They've ordered to fight each other.
But they already ordered to fight each other. Dubois would be the one, but he's got obviously the
rematch against Joshua. Or does he fight Zhang again?
Yeah, and it's that you've already done. Been there, done that, and not really. So maybe one of the others, but
so what about Wardley?
Yeah. No, I'm from his point of view, I'd go for Wardley, but from the other way around, go for Wardley. I think it's just because I think Parker's on a roll and he's back to being, that we know he's world level. He was a world title holder. Is Wardley still got to? I'd do a step up and then fight like a Parker level guy, because Parker's number 3 ranked ring, isn't he? And he's high in most of the things. So like a Jared Anderson or somebody like that, the Baby Miller, one of those.
I like Wardley Hrgović. Yeah. I like that fight.
And then, a Parker. The winner of that can do Parker because Hrgović hasn't fought Parker, have they? So, and then then you've got the winners coming out, because if Dubois wins again, then there's an obvious fight for a Parker. Kabayel, Bakole, whoever wins, then that's a good... If Wardley gets through Hrgović, then I think that's a step-up fight for him. And then you're in that reckoning. Then it could be, then they fight. Then you fight a Parker, then you fight whoever... Depending on what they think. Yeah. The heavyweight there's a lot of fights.
Yeah.
So, but I think he's in the conversation now.
Okay.
So, yeah. So I think he was good. And then our favourite boxer of all time, Eubank Jr. I think, well, let's start from, I think we know what his next fight's going to be, Conor Benn. So.
Right. I like Conor Benn, but let's just stop this pantomime crap that you two are doing, eh?
Yeah, it's all pantomime to sell the...
Conor Benn hasn't even got a boxing license. Why are you even talking about it? Why are we even there?
Yeah.
Go and get your boxing license first, and then you can open your mouth. And like I say, I am a big Conor Benn fan. I do not like Chris Eubank Jr. But you haven't got your license, and you're not going to have your license till, I think, your hearing's in March. Go and sort your license out, and then you can start gobbing off at him.
Yeah.
You don't need to sell the fight anyway.
Well, it sort of sells itself, and people want to see it. So, yeah, I think they put it on the stage now, haven't they? So,
Eubank Jr., he's not interested in boxing him. He's not. He's interested in money.
Yeah.
He is not interested in boxing. The only fight for him is Conor Benn.
What weight? Because
Middleweight.
He's at middleweight, isn't he? But he's saying fight at 168, which is super middleweight. It's Canelo's weight, isn't it?
No,
he's saying 168, 170. They want to do the fight.
No, I think Conor Benn.
I think he's saying that he's trying to make an excuse. He can't get down to that lean at 160.
Bollocks.
Yeah.
It'll be at middleweight. Chris Eubank Jr. ain't going to fight any other middleweight in the division in the top 10. I guarantee it.
Well, I think we've said in it, because you've got Johnny Beck and you've got Shiraz.
He's not going to fight him. He's not going to fight him. He's not going to fight him, and he's not going to fight him. He will not. Don't get me wrong. He's a good self-promoter, but all he cares about is money, and he's had a good payday for.
Well, that's what Conor Benn and him are, isn't it? Because Conor Benn's 2 weight classes.
He's a welterweight,
really. Although he looked big in the ring, but they'll if they go up in weight and do, that's just a spectacle. It's not really a boxing match. It's a spectacle, entertainment. But but the thing, he's stuck, isn't it? Because like I said, I think we've said before, I don't think he beats any of those lot. Any of the top.
He doesn't take them fights anyway.
And in super middleweight, you've got Canelo. So other than for the money game,
he talked about Canelo how many times. You're never fighting Canelo because.
Well, even there, you've got Munguia and Billy. You know,
they knock Chris Eubank Jr.
The only other fight, Plant and stuff is
the only other fight for Chris Eubank Jr. is Liam Smith.
Yeah. Again,
that's the only other fight for you.
Well, if he's saying 168, what do you think of going up against like a Belanga or a Plant at 168?
He's not going to take the fight. It's not even worth talking about it.
Theoretically,
he could. I hate him.
Okay.
He gets knocked out by everyone. And
all right. What about his performance? Anyway, let's go to the boxing.
Even his performance, I wasn't impressed.
No, it wasn't great. I think Szeremeta was a bit. Yeah, I mean, he's caught him and he's knocked him down 4 times. It's sort of done, but it was in like bits and spurts.
Look, Eubank Jr. got caught loads.
Yeah, 6th round he got caught quite well. Yeah.
And I just don't. He's annoying, Chris Eubank Jr., because I think if he'd had a proper boxing trainer from day one, and don't get me, he does knuckle down in the gym, you can tell that, but I don't think he knuckles down with a boxing trainer. I don't think he listens to a boxing trainer.
You sort of get the feeling he'd think quite a lot of himself.
His way or the highway.
Yeah.
And I think he could have been so much more. Look, every time he stepped up to world level, he's been beat. Who's his biggest victory against? James DeGale, and how old was he at the time?
Yeah, he's on the cusp of it, isn't he? But he's not quite there. And
we thought George Groves.
It doesn't really
beat
any of the really, really.
He just doesn't beat anyone.
Yeah, but the ones who were I think we've went through this in the pre-fight, and then Billy Joe Saunders and George Groves, who the world level he's been beaten, and then Liam Smith as well.
Maybe another Liam Smith fight, but I just don't. He's 35 now. He's in it for the money. Do you know what? I've got nothing against that. You're in it for the money. Get as much money as you can. He is doing fair play to him. I don't think he's got a promoter. Or is he with Ben Shalom? Maybe. I don't know. But I'm not a fan of the guy. I don't really rate his boxing. So yeah,
it's only Conor Benn fight, isn't it? Really, none of the others.
Conor Benn, Liam Smith. I think
against all the other contenders and middleweight, he loses. The ones who hold the belts,
and I think he knows that.
Yeah, and I think it doesn't make sense to go there. If he's saying about weight, well, if you go up to super middleweight again, I think all the other big. Forget Canelo, everybody else. There's a load.
But he's not a big name for them.
They're not going to want to fight.
He's a big name in the UK because.
And there's no really the UK fighters in that super middleweight.
I hate saying it, but he's a big name because of Eubank.
Yeah, his dad.
Worldwide, he's not a big name. If you beat him, you're not getting.
Yeah, there's no real.
There's no reward
other British
for beating
fights
him.
In like
there really isn't.
Super middle, and then there's obviously Hamza Shiraz at middle, but like again,
Hamza Shiraz, it takes him apart inside 4 rounds.
So yeah.
But Hamza Shiraz been purse bid for Yanni back.
Yeah. Be
interesting to see if they take that fight. But
I think they should wait a little bit.
Yeah.
But he's the WBO mandatory, isn't he? Then he's the WBC mandatory. So
yeah, I might be wrong. I get the feeling the Chris Eubank fight was to stir up Conor Benn and Chris Eubank fighting in the future. I think it was just promotion
for that, basically, wasn't it? So if he comes through it, that's the obvious fight afterwards.
I mean, and having bloody Neymar in the middle of him. And
get that at all. Anyway, so we'll forget about him. So that's the next steps of that one. And then there was the ladies fight, which was actually quite good. Nicolson did a good boxing showcase.
Superb, that woman.
Yeah.
She needs to move up a division because there's no one in her division now that.
Well, she's just basically outclassed.
Or maybe move up
was quite good,
2 divisions.
But she just outclassed her.
She needs like a Katie Taylor, Chantel Cameron.
But you know what
Amanda
the thing was? I was
Serrano
expecting
fight.
one of those wars, and it was like, this is more like a boxing class. This is more like a Bivol type fight.
Absolutely, just
at the end of a jab, bang, 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 and then boom, power shot somewhere. It's just like
she was just fantastic.
It's a boxing class. It was good.
Yeah, like I say, move up a couple of weights. There's nothing in that division for her. So I think she needs some huge names in women's boxing now.
Bigger ones, isn't it? In higher divisions. Yep.
And she's a force to be reckoned with, I tell you.
She's a good boxer. Mm-hmm. There's a fair bit of skill there.
Oh, God, yeah.
And then there was the... I don't know what that was, a pantomime thing? What was it? I didn't know they did pantomimes in boxing. Mr. Whitaker.
Right.
What do we think of that? I think draw is fair as much as the other guy's moaning, right? Because really no contest or a thing. He could have been clear.
Right. They didn't finish the 5th round, so you can't score the 5th round.
Yeah.
So they've only scored the first 4 rounds, and I had a 2-piece.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would have said it's a draw.
So that's a draw. But we don't know if... Look, they fell over the ropes. The ropes were really loose.
Yeah.
They fell over the ropes. He hasn't got up and continued. He could be genuinely hurt. Release your hospital documents.
Well, they're saying it was the ankle injury. He's twisted the ankle, and he's got some sort of neck injury that was remade by Landon.
Yeah, but you've been 3 days now, and you've been super quiet.
Yeah,
you're back in the UK.
You can get checked up and release and show, this is the injury.
Prove that you haven't quit, because that's all people are saying.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say he quit. I don't know. What I will say is, for me, he got exposed.
Yeah, I don't think he performed at what the level they're sort of saying of him. And, if you're talking of him in the level
Did we not say that
on
I think this was going to happen to him?
Yeah.
But you know what? It could either be the best thing in the world for him.
A reality check.
Or... No, you found your level, mate, and you ain't as good as you think you are.
It's how he steps back in. You can either step back in, do the work, and get in there, and because he's obviously got skill.
Yeah,
and then
but
if you come back and do it and stop,
everyone was talking about him being this world class fighter. Nah,
not on that performance.
Nope. You had the chance to really shine there.
And he's messed it up.
And I don't think he had a plan B. And I think if he has quit, I understand why he's quit, because I just think you were getting battered.
Well, there's some things of saying this corner told him to stay down, isn't it? Not him himself, but the corner saying...
I think, is it Cameron's? That's
Cameron.
Made that little rumour
yeah,
up.
made the rumour up. Well, let's give him the benefit of doubt. He's injured, right, fair enough. But then he's got to come back and really put on a prop show. They've got to have a rematch, really, and then he's got to perform better than that, shall we say, to make it...
I think he's disappointed a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So unless he comes back with x-rays and his ankle's snapped in half. I mean, because let's look at it. David A, look what... snapped his Achilles tendon.
Yeah.
Was getting battered from pillar to post by a big hitting boxer in Tony Bellew, but fought all the way. You look at Danny Williams, dislocated shoulder.
Yeah.
I could go on and on and on.
Yeah. Well, in a way, had a broken eye socket from the second round against Demir, who's a Hall of Fame boxer, multi-weight, multi-time world champion, and still managed to get win.
There was another boxer,
and he's injured in the second round
not so long ago, that broke his leg, but he still stood up and tried to put weight on it. It's the fact that he didn't try and stand up, and I mean, because it wasn't like it was.
No, he was basically waving it from when he was on the floor, isn't it?
But it wasn't like didn't look like a really bad fall either.
I think a lot of them saying it. I mean, there is a bit where you can see at the end he's damaged it, or when he's put the weight on, you can see at the beginning he twists his foot. We'll find out in it.
Yeah,
like I said,
but
I think for there it's really how he comes back. He's got to come back and put on a proper show and win, and then he's back on the rails. Otherwise, it could be the end of where your career is not really going to go anywhere. Because you've got to remember the light heavyweight where he's at is a stacked division. Even if Bivol and Beterbiev get out the way.
British level, it's... not British level, because I'd say the British levels are a little bit higher. Let's break
if you just put the British fighters in.
Let's break it down. You've got elite, Bivol, Beterbiev, world class, Buatsi, Benavidez. Let's throw Yard in there and that.
Well, you've probably got world class. You've got Benavidez, Buatsi, Yard, Ramirez, and Smith.
Yeah, and he doesn't.
And Vosdik was, but maybe a bit older. But like David Morrell is probably
got
in that
long
conversation.
way to go before he can be even talked about being in the same conversation as them.
Yeah.
So let's not insult the other fighters.
Forget the elite ones, just at the world level ones. You've got a long. I think the level below that, he's got a long way to go to get to there. Your Hutchisons and co, you've got to get past, isn't it? So. And there's a few other fighters in that. So I think you've got to go through them. Then you get to the world level, and then, you can have the conversation. But you ain't beating the elite level. It's no matter what you do.
And
on that performance, you ain't even getting close to the top, 10 people. So, yeah.
Quick mention. Yeah, it was a great event anyway.
There's a couple of other fights. Shall we?
There was Janibek.
Yeah. Versus Mihailovic. Yeah, one wish. I think he was working. It should have been stopped in the second round.
That referee, I'm sorry, but it's a bit naughty because...
Well, they played the wrong anthem in the first place in the venue, and then the thing is this, there was a golfing class.
And I don't know whether Janibek...
I think he eased off to get a fight because both Mihailovic and his coach were giving him a lot of stick.
Or whether he just eased off because he thought, I'm really, really hurting this guy.
Yeah, I think he's...
I don't know, but...
I think he's eased off. Well, he's eased off for some reason, and then he's dragged it out a bit, and then he sort of let him go to have a go, see what he can do, and then just put him away when he's wanted to. I think he was a little bit ring rusty, but the difference in golfing class was huge. And then I've seen a lot of things where they're basically saying, look, these guys build their records up with just fighting in Australia, New Zealand, local ones. He goes, but you got to realise when they get up to world level, there's a big jump. He goes, there's the likes of...
Janibek is world
There's the
level.
likes of Tim Zhu and people who fought with it, but they also fight. They've got some experience of getting sparring and stuff from overseas because of their name, because of his father's name and stuff. He goes, and Janibek is, I think him and Shiraz are the two best in that division.
Well, they've been ordered to fight each other, haven't they? No, not ordered, pairs bids, as we've mentioned already. I don't know whether Shiraz will take that. It's up to him and his promoter. I think Shiraz will take it. It's whether his promoters take it. I don't know. Is it too soon for him or?
Well, I would have thought he goes against one of the others, against the Lara or.
Well, no. Why wouldn't you throw him in?
Adamas.
Why wouldn't you throw him in? How many fights has Janibek had?
Less, I think, than he has.
Exactly.
Let's find out.
So let's just do it.
Janibek's only 11 or 12, isn't he? 16, sorry.
Okay.
And Shiraz is 21.
Right.
So actually, from that point of view,
Adamas
and Lara are both more experienced, isn't it?
Look, if he loses,
the good thing is if he loses at this point, he doesn't actually lose that much because you're against the world-class elite level operator.
Or he could go in and let's prove it.
And if he wins, it's like, well, then he's the top dog.
We're all saying he's the next best thing. Let's go and prove it because you've got to fight this guy to prove it.
Well, he's got to fight this guy at some point.
So do it now. Why not? I want to see him in there with him. Get it done, get it made. Stop messing around.
And if he beats him, do you think he cleans that? He cleans that division up.
Yeah, and then he moves up to super middleweight.
And then he fights Canelo, and he makes huge pay packet. Whatever happens.
Not saying nothing. Get into trouble.
This is just for our shorts. I think the winner of that cleans that division out. I think as good as Lara and Adamas are,
he moves up to light heavyweight and smashes Beterbiev in.
Sam, you're going a bit far there.
Telling you.
But we got to go super middleweight first.
He's a big lad, isn't he, though? Shiraz, he's a big lad. I don't think he's going to be at middleweight much longer. Win the titles, move up. And I think he can go up to light heavyweight, to be fair. I think he can do super middleweight
I think if he takes
light
time,
heavyweight.
He's only young as well, innit? I think he can go through. And he's got the frame if he builds up. And as long as he doesn't lose his speed, the hand speed and the footwork and stuff.
I think he can go up.
And he doesn't gas out. I think, he's...
And he's a really nice fella as well.
Yeah.
So... I've been listening to his interviews.
There's a few in his division first you've got to get through. So there's 3 or 4 tough people there that you've got to have a fight with.
I wonder if...
I think if he gets that experience and he can beat them, he will be something special.
I know there's going to be a 5v5 in February. Because they're already talking about it.
So you think he's going to be on there?
He might be on there. Has Eddie Hearn got anyone to throw in with him?
Fodder. Eddie Hearn fodder, because they all seem to lose.
Eddie Hearn's not on a great run at the moment, no. Sadly.
But yeah, anyway, I think there's... he's got a good thing.
I think the next 5v5 is going to be huge as well.
Yeah, I think they're going to build it up. The other fight was Junto Nakatani, I think, has had one and won.
Yeah, knocked him out in round 6.
I think so, yeah. So
do you know what? It was on the back card, that, you know.
Yeah, there was some good fights on there, because the other in a way lost, didn't he? I think, against Szeremeta, and there's another good fight on it as well.
But I watched the Nakatani fight, funnily enough, this morning.
I haven't seen it yet, but yeah.
Good luck fight.
He's a good up and coming.
Watch out for him.
Yeah. Well, behind him, after in a way, there's him, and then obviously there's our fave boy Bam Bam as well. So, but that in a way that's not Naya in a way, younger brother. That's just in a way separate in a way, isn't it? It's not in a ways, bro.
There's too many in a ways.
Yeah. Well, this one was the favourite as well, isn't he? But I think the other guys pulled out a pretty damn good performance.
Last week, also Nick Ball
won. That was the other one I was trying to remember.
Over in Liverpool.
A very good performance as well against Rios.
I mean, you know what you're going to get with Nick Ball, don't you? It's just going to start swinging and try and take your head off in round 1.
Well, some of his boxing, have you seen the highlights and stuff to the fight? It's pretty good performance, that.
Now.
It's a shame you weren't here so we could have gone and watched it.
I know a lot of my friends went to that and they said it was a good night. Yeah. And everyone's talking about him versus Inoue.
He's too big, and Inoue's too far from that yet.
It
depends which Inoue we're talking about. Is it a big Inoue?
I mean this weirdly. Both of them fighters need to avoid each other.
Yeah. For the moment, I think they need to avoid it.
But what a hell of a fight that would be.
Yeah.
No, actually, no. Let's make the fight. It's going to be great. No.
Well, I think Ball's got work to do in there's fights in his division.
I think Ball needs to have a rematch against, what's his name?
Who did he get his draw with?
Against WBC guy, wasn't it?
Vargas?
Yeah. Get a rematch of him.
Well, I think there's a few good fights in it because they're separated up, isn't it? There's.
But it was good to see him in Liverpool, his hometown. Just, and I tell you what, how about Nick Ball in away next year at Anfield or Everton's new stadium? Fill him out.
Yeah.
Maybe not the Everton stadium.
That's too big.
Too big.
No, a boxing match there would be superb in that location and the size, brand new stadium.
Have you seen how steep it is?
Yeah, they made it on purpose. The noise, imagine the noise in there if he gets going. Because he's ferocious, he's going to drive the crowd.
Is he a Liverpool fan though?
Probably.
He's got to be a Liverpool fan though, and Liverpool supports Everton.
Everybody in Liverpool sports. Everybody outside Liverpool sports. Everybody in Liverpool sports.
But no, I mean, there's two big stadiums there that he could have like a major mega fight. Boxing in Liverpool's hard to fill out. No. It's hard to fill out. You need to put on a really good event. Ask any promoter. They will tell you the same thing.
But I think his star is rising. So shout out to him. It was a good
great
performance.
Good on him.
A good fight. And I think he's on the rise. I think, in their bit, there's other people before Inoue gets there. I think Inoue's got, I think I've seen this morning, we've seen is that Inoue's made with Goodman for the 24th of December.
Get in.
So, yeah.
I hope he smashes his face.
So we've got another.
Yeah, because didn't he fight on Boxing Day last year or something as well?
Yeah.
So he likes to give us a little Christmas present, doesn't he?
Well, it's probably because the day's moved, isn't it? So the 4th of 24th
that's going to be in the morning, isn't it?
Christmas Eve, isn't it? I didn't even clock onto that.
Christmas Eve. That's going to be mid-morning. We'll do a live feed for that.
We'll do a live one for that, I think. We can get set up and everything. So,
will you supply a Christmas dinner for me?
I think we can arrange something, isn't it?
Or maybe some cakes.
Well, we were contemplating making a video where we do who our predictions, and then if we get them wrong, we have to do like forfeits of food or something, like hot food or really sickly sweet or whatever, something funny.
That's a shame.
Maybe an episode.
I've just come back from France and we were looking at escargots. I should have bought some back
some frogs legs and escargots. I think we should do that on a 5v5 though, when we make our predictions, and then if we get them wrong, then we have to go.
Because no, I think the 5...
And I think we both have to pick different fighters, so we'd have to pick one each.
5, from what I gather, is going to get announced. I think it's going to be one day this week.
Well, I think they've got the November event now, which we said is Chris Billum-Smith versus Zerdo. Then there'll be, obviously, the 21st is going to be Usyk Fury number 2 with the undercard of that. Then... and then they're saying in February, I think, is going to be the 5v5 event. And then they're going to have one more after that, isn't it? So, there's quite a lot of boxing to look forward to coming up. And we will do our best to get you the info and do our predictions.
I'm just seeing if there's any rumours. I think the headline is going to be Dubois Joshua.
Yeah. Makes sense as the main fight.
Yeah.
I think Shiraz would be a good shout, but if they can get an opponent for him, would be a good
but it's got to be a matchroom or...
Yeah, I don't know who we have. If he's got somebody that can make a good contest out of, that would be good.
Let me just see if there's any rumours.
Nick Ball, do you think, on there?
I don't think. I mean, it's
because there's Lee Wood, isn't there? Who's the other one? Is it Lee Wood? Who's he with?
He could be with Matchroom, yeah. There's literally no rumours about it either, so they are keeping it very, very
Fulton
quiet.
Versus Nick Ball. I think that'd be a good fight.
But Fulton's not Matchroom.
I don't care. I'm just making him up. I was just calling that as a fight because he's the number 1 contender, isn't he, in WBA? Can't they just make him matchroom for the event? To make
he did with Wilder, didn't he?
Yeah, so can't they just adopt him for a thing? Because that'd be a good fight. I think Nick Ball wins, but I think that'd be a good fight.
I don't know. There's a few.
Didn't one of them have Raymond Ford? Isn't he one of theirs?
Matchroom was Ray Ford.
Oh, okay.
We'll see. We'll keep you updated. And like I say, I think
I think it's going to be announced in the next.
I think Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn is still over in Saudi discussing the final details. Interesting.
Yeah. There's a lot of interesting fights. So the next one,
I think there'll be 2 heavyweight fights.
Do you think Wardley gets back on? Because really, or they'll do well. But the thing is, there's loads.
Yeah, but
Parker can be on it. He can be on it.
No, I think they could do Wardley, Johnny Fisher, and then I think they could do. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll find out. That's coming up. So next, we'll probably see you in. Well, we'll find out about our man Murtazaliev and Tim Tszyu. Yeah. So watch our video of that. That's coming up on this Saturday, I think.
I'm getting a lot of haters for that.
Mr. Murtazaliev fan.
I am a Murtazaliev fan.
So, I don't think there's many people giving him, not in our comments anyway, there's not many people giving Murtazaliev too much of a chance. We shall find out.
I will eat humble pie, but as long as you lot do as well, if my result goes my way.
Well, I said Tim Tszyu just for anybody watching.
It'd be... I hate to say it, it'd be better for boxing if Tim Tszyu won.
Yeah.
Because you can make some massive fights.
But I think it'd be a bit silly to write off Murtazaliev. That's saying he's not that good, because he is as well. I think it's a good matchup and a good fight.
Yeah, we'll see.
We will be, as the art of Beterbiev would say, we'll see. We'll find out. So watch our video on that and let us know. Let us know in the comments what you think of the our sort of analysis of the events. Do you think it was a draw? Do you think it should have been one way or the other? I know there's a lot of Beterbiev ones calling it just like round and things. I think, it's interesting. And then, what matchups do you think are made of the matchups in the upcoming boxing? What would you like to see? So we'll see you. Thank you very much. And we will see you in the next one, in our after video of hopefully Tim Tszyu and Murtazaliev.
Yeah.
Which should be interesting. Thank you very much.
See you soon.